back at work again. It doesn't stop. It does not stop. I'm back working on the H47 again, as I probably will be for the foreseeable future. And as per the last few videos, I'm just getting through the list of little things. And the little thing for today is pretty little, actually. It's just going to clean up and reseal the engine. Get rid of all of the dirt, grime, dust on the outside, give it some paint, and the transmission as well, because it's literally covered in all sorts of dirts and stuff, and strip it all back as well. So it's not just a paint job. I'll do the intake seals, do the seals at the front of the engine, and most importantly, I'm going to try and get into where the oil cooler is and put a new gasket on that and make sure that it's actually all still intact and good. But you know, just to clean up and make sure that the engine is all good, and it also looks nice, because the cab's going to look nice, the chassis is going to look nice, and I don't want to have put the cab back on and there's an old engine sitting in there. So it's pretty simple. There's very little explanation that I need to do. I'm just first going to get into disassembly, taking off all the lines, the injector lines, the front cover, the harmonic balancer, all that stuff, right? So it's pretty well bare, and then I'll start cleaning it up, take off all the other bits like the top cover, and there's things on the side that all are going to be painted in a different color. I'm going to be doing it in not the factory blue color, because I don't really know what that is, but just a blue color. I got it on whatever the Duplicolor is. This Duplicolor engine enamel, whatever light blue that is. So I got that, and then just a cast aluminium look paint for everything else. So like the top, the intake, all the lines, the things on the side, all that. And also got black as well, just for a few little bits. So pretty simple there, just from Repco. And now I've just got to get in and just start disassembling it until it's right the way back. And then I'm going to start cleaning it and grinding it and all that. So the engine's all the way stripped down, got everything off, and I have gone through and grinded it all back. I've got the engine mounts off after I jacked it up with the transmission jack, so it's sitting on that transmission jack at the moment, which is good because there was so much dust and stuff up underneath there. So right now, I'm gonna put the front timing cover back on and the oil cooler back on because I'm gonna paint the block blue. And I've already got to paint the timing cover and the oil cooler anyway, so I'm just going to use them, put them on, so I don't have to bother like masking anything. I just put them on, spray them, and I've got to grind them back anyway, so I could just grind the paint that's on there back. And then I'm just going to, I think everything is masked up the intake. I'll see if there's any other little holes, but I'm going to get the blue on, and then I've got to start with the transmission and all these other stuff. But now I'm going to do the base of the block. Okay, I have just painted these engine mounts. Before I paint anything else, I'm going to bolt these back in because it's just sitting on the transmission stand at the moment. So then it can like sit on its own. I also need it to sit on its own so that I can take this sump off because I have a full new gasket set to go on it. And it comes with a sump gasket. And obviously I can't have it sitting on a transmission stand to get to the sump. So I'm gonna do that and then just continue painting everything. All right, so I just got the oil cooler back on. Pretty straightforward, just got those new gaskets, the new O-rings, put it in there, made sure it was all nice and clean. And then I got the new gasket for the whole oil cooler housing, and then just torqued everything up. That's why I did this whole job in the first place, was to pretty much get to that oil cooler so I could change the gasket so I didn't have to do it all when it was in the car. So what have I got now? I guess I can put the injector pump back on. I might just clean it up a little bit. I don't think I'm going to paint the injector pump. I don't really think it needs paint on it, but I've got the new model intake there with all the things that I need to either wire wheel or sandblast. A few other things like the injector lines, the water pump housing and all that. So that's probably what I'll do over the next few things, and then we'll see how we go from there. Look at that. Isn't that just a thing of beauty? And it is pretty much completed. For how little of a job it was, it took me a lot longer than what I thought. I didn't end up getting to the transmission because I'm gonna have to take the whole transmission out when I do the new drive shafts and the clutch, things like that. And to fix it up, I've got to go through it and make sure it's good. It'll be its own video. So I thought it's kind of a waste doing it here. I'll actually have it out of the car to fix it up. It's not like 100% assembled yet, just for other little reasons like that whole throttle assembly I haven't put back on because I think I'm gonna sandblast quite a few of those bits and actually get them working properly instead of just cleaning them and chucking some paint on them. Yeah, oh yeah, there's a lot of things still to be replaced later on. Like I painted straight over the glow plugs and the injectors because I'll be getting new glow plugs for the super glow system, and I'll be getting new injectors because it's just what you do. I painted the thermostat housing, but I'll probably just get new ones of those, like the bit where the pipe sticks on is pretty corroded. I mean, it's good condition for what some of them are, but you can just get new ones. They're pretty expensive, but I think it's just better. So there's a lot of little things that still will need to be changed, but it's good more that now the base of it is good, and I'm feeling happy that I can now paint the cab up, clean up the chassis when I do all the modifications of that and its final painting, diffs and stuff, all the good looking stuff that I'll be going on to later. I feel good knowing that the engine, the base of it is looking good, and all of the hard to reach seals are done. So I got that oil cooler seal done, not just the actual housing for it, but on the inside, the O-rings and the seal that goes in there, timing cover seals, all that sort of stuff, because it's just 10 times more difficult to do when the car is fully assembled. Why not take the opportunity now? And you know, the paint's not perfect because I'm not trying to like palm this off as it being like a rebuilt engine. Like, it is just to sort of make it look good. A lot of things could have been done better, like a lot of bolts I didn't end up painting because it's not like super in depth like that. I just wanted it to not quite look as old and crusty as it did, and again, I wanted to do all the seals, so everything was off anyway. So yeah, bit of an interesting video. I didn't really have much to say. It was literally just constant work, grinding, unbolting, putting everything back on again. Hopefully it was interesting to watch. I'll be getting on to more of the cab stuff now, so I think painting, bodywork and reassembly before I get it back on the chassis, and 5-speed, other little things. But until then, this was me cleaning up the engine, making it look nice, and I'll see you on the next one.